Have you ever noticed the color blue? Imagine a world without the color blue. I don't think you can. Welcome, friend. We're going to spend some time together in the color blue. In just a few moments, the screen will quietly fade to black. There is nowhere else to be, nothing to keep track of, no rules to follow, nothing to remember, and nothing to solve. Only a little while set aside for noticing. Our journey begins. Imagine yourself stepping into a world of blue, a world of powder blue skies, aquamarine water, cerulean gardens, sapphire glass, weathered doors, old friends, sea-worn treasures, some familiar, some waiting to be discovered. A path winds beyond a blue-gray gate. Behind you, the softer blues of morning rest peacefully in the distance. The path curves gently towards an enormous field of cornflowers. Thousands upon thousands of blossoms sway beneath the afternoon sky. Their petals catch the sunlight in quiet ways. Some seem almost to borrow their color from the sky. Others gather the blue into themselves, growing richer as they turn toward the light. The field stretches all the way to the horizon, a sea of flowers, a sea made entirely of blue. The breeze moves through the blossoms. Waves of color ripple across the landscape like an ocean. One section brightens, another darkens. Sunlight traveling across calm water. Then the motion continues onward. The air smells warm here. Wildflowers, fresh earth, grass. A faint sweetness drifts through the field. Comforting, gentle, familiar. Butterflies drift lazily among the blossoms. Some carry wings of pale aquamarine. Others shimmer in peacock blue. One flashes electric blue whenever sunlight touches its wings. The color appears only for a moment, then vanishes again. A larger butterfly settles briefly on a cornflower beside the road. Its wings resemble polished topaz, zircon, and aquamarine all at once. The colors shift each time the wings move, as though the butterfly cannot quite decide which blue it prefers. Far ahead, rooftops begin to appear, tiny at first, barely visible beyond the flowers. small triangles of color resting against the horizon. As you continue walking, the shapes become clearer. A village, a blue village. Each rooftop seems to have found its own shade. Some are weathered by years of sunshine, others still shine as though they were painted only yesterday. The flowers gradually thin. The path becomes a road. The road becomes cobblestone. The scent of the sea begins to drift toward you. Clean, salt air, carried on a gentle breeze. The first cottage stands beside the road. Its walls are bright white. The front door is painted French blue. A clay flower pot sits beside the entrance. Blue hydrangeas spill over the rim. Their blossoms nod gently in the breeze as though welcoming everyone who passes by. The next cottage has shutters painted capri blue. The one beyond that wears a Persian blue door. Another displays window boxes filled with cobalt blue lobelia. Tiny blue and white flowers bursting with life. Blue glass bottles rest upon windowsills. Sunlight shows through them. Small pools of sapphire-colored light fall across the stone street. The reflections shift slowly into the afternoon. A cat sleeps in one patch of blue light. Its fur is silver gray. Its collar is a deep cobalt blue. One ear twitches occasionally. It raises its head and peers at you briefly, then settles back down into restful bliss. Farther down the street, a baker places blueberry tarts in a display window. The scent drifts into the road. Warm pastry, sweet berries, a hint of vanilla. The blueberries themselves are nearly midnight blue, glossy and dark, almost like tiny polished gemstones. The baker arranges the tarts on a plate painted in Wedgwood blue and white. He notices one tart sitting ever so slightly out of place. Smiling to himself, he turns it just a little, then steps back once more, apparently satisfied. Not because anyone else would have noticed, simply because he would. A small child pauses outside the window, quietly admiring the pastries. The baker notices. Without a word, he cuts the smallest tart in half, places it on a little blue plate, sets it on the windowsill, then quietly returns to his work. Before disappearing inside, he freshens the water in a small blue bowl outside the doorway. Sometimes it is empty by morning, sometimes it is not. The baker never seems to mind. Each morning he simply washes the bowl and fills it again. Near the center of the village, a young girl sits upon a low stone wall. Her dress is pale aquamarine linen. Her dark hair is tied back with a ribbon the color of sea glass. Beside her rests a small wooden box. Inside are dozens of treasures collected from the nearby shore. Sea glass, hundreds of tiny pieces, each one worn smooth by years of tides and waves. The girl lifts a piece of turquoise glass, holding it toward the sunlight. The color glows softly. She studies it for a moment, then gently places it where it belongs. She chooses another. No two pieces are exactly alike. Each one seems to have found its own way here. The task seems to require great concentration, and yet she appears perfectly content, as though every treasure deserves its own place. And here, perhaps it does. At the bottom of the box rests a small velvet pouch. The pouch is royal blue. Its drawstring is silver. The girl opens it carefully. Inside are her favorites. The rarest pieces, the most beautiful. These pieces seem almost alive. Light bounces off them as if they are the source. She chooses one particular piece and holds it up. As she turns it to the sunlight, something curious happens. A tiny blue spark appears inside the glass, just for a moment. Then another. The girl smiles, not surprised, almost as though she has seen this happen before. She gently returns the mysterious glass to the pouch, closed it with the same care she opened it. The harbor waits quietly ahead at the end of the village. Beyond the final row of cottages, the road widens into a broad waterfront promenade. The sea stretches outward beneath the afternoon sky. Near the shore, the water is clear enough to reveal the sandy bottom below. Farther out, the blue quietly deepens, until eventually the sea and the sky seem to agree upon the same color. The docks are built from weathered planks bleached by years of sunlight and salt air. Each board has been polished smooth by countless footsteps. The wood feels warm beneath the afternoon sun. Fishing boats rise and fall gently beside their moorings. Each seems to wear its own shade of blue. Some bright, some weathered, some carrying the colors of many seasons at sea. Their reflections shimmer across the water like liquid gemstones. The boats are not preparing to leave. They seem content to drift quietly where they are. Their ropes creak softly. The water laps against wooden pilings. Somewhere overhead, a gull glides through the warm air. At the end of the longest dock stands the fisherman. His scruffy beard is almost white and moves gently in the breeze. His face carries the kind of lines that only sunlight and years beside the sea can create. His sweater is navy blue, not the bright navy of new clothing, a softened navy, a weathered navy. The color of something that has been loved for a very long time. The wool appears thick and slightly rough. The cuffs are worn. One elbow has been carefully patched. The patch itself is a slightly different shade of blue. The fisherman smells faintly of sea salt, sunshine, and weathered wood, and the ocean itself. One hand rests upon the railing. The other loosely holds a coil of rope. He notices one loose loop. Patiently tucks it back into place, then rests his hand upon the neatly coiled rope once more. He does not seem to be waiting for anything, nor does he seem particularly busy. He simply watches the water, the boats, the afternoon. The cat appears without warning. One moment the dock is empty. The next moment he is walking confidently along a wooden beam. Its fur is silver gray with hints of blue smoke. A tiny silver bell hangs from the clasp of its cobalt blue collar. The bell never rings. Not once. No matter how much the cat moves. The fisherman notices the cat. The cat notices the fisherman. Neither seems surprised to find the other there. Old friends rarely are. The cat stretches, walks in a slow circle, then settles directly in a patch of sunlight, apparently satisfied with its decision. Farther along the harbor stands a sailmaker's workshop. Its doors are painted azure blue. The windows are framed in French blue. Inside, great sheets of canvas hang from wooden beams. Some are bright white. Others have been dyed soft shades of blue. No two seem quite the same. Each carries a little of the sky. A woman works at a long wooden table. She appears to be stitching a sail for one of the harbor boats. Her measuring tape hangs around her neck. Its markings are faded from years of use. Nearby rests a basket filled with spools of thread, some deep as the evening sea, others pale enough to disappear against the morning sky. Sunlight streams through the workshop windows. The beams of light illuminate floating particles of dust. Each tiny speck glows for a moment, then drifts away. Near the back wall hangs a collection of old maritime flags. Some are faded. Some remain brilliantly colored. Each one has sailed somewhere. Each one has a story. The sailmaker pauses her work. She opens a nearby window. Fresh sea air enters the workshop. The hanging sails shift gently. Like clouds deciding to breathe, she watches them for a moment. Apparently satisfied, they are doing exactly what sails should do, catching the wind whenever it chooses to visit. Then, for just a moment, one small scrap of blue fabric lifts from the work table. It twists in the sunlight, spins once, and resembles a tiny blue bird, then settles once more. Nothing more than cloth, maybe. Outside, the harbor continues its quiet rhythm. Boats drift, water shimmers, ropes creak, gulls circle overhead. The fisherman stands still at the end of the dock. The cat sleeps in the sun. The baker places another tart in the window to cool, and the girl has discovered another tiny treasure. Beyond the harbor, colorful awnings flutter above the marketplace. Music plays softly. Silks stretch above the cobblestone streets. They sway gently in the sea breeze. Each one catches the light a little differently, like pieces of the sky drifting overhead. The air here carries many scents: warm pastries, fresh fruit, salt from the distant harbor, and the faint perfume of flowers drifting from window boxes overhead. Merchants stand beside polished wooden stalls. Each display seems dedicated to a different shade of blue. One stall is filled entirely with silk. Long flowing ribbons hang from wooden poles, some pale as the morning sky, others deep enough to remind you of evening. The fabrics move continuously. The slightest breeze sets them dancing. They ripple like water, fold like clouds, catch sunlight and release it again. A seamstress stands nearby. She runs her fingers across a length of aquamarine fabric. The silk glides through her hands like cool water. She smooths one tiny wrinkle before carefully folding the fabric back once more. Across the street stands a jeweler. His shop windows glitter with blue light. Inside are trays lined with navy velvet. Upon the velvet rest dozens of gemstones: blue topaz, aquamarine, blue zircon, larimar, kayanite, tanzanite, iolite, sapphire. Each stone reflects a different blue and holds a different kind of light. One aquamarine glows with the color of tropical water. A sapphire shows the deep blue of the evening sea. A piece of larimar resembles sunlight passing through Caribbean waves. The jeweler lifts a polished blue topaz. As it turns in the light, tiny flashes dance inside. The colors seem to shift each time it catches the sun, almost as though the stone enjoys surprising whoever is holding it. Beside the gemstones stands a cabinet of lapis lazuli, rich royal blue stone threaded with tiny flecks of gold, like stars scattered across a midnight sky. One polished sphere of lapis rests upon a silver pedestal. The surface is perfectly smooth, cool to the touch, heavy for its size. Nearby, a small glass lantern suddenly glows. No one has lit it, yet soft blue light now fills its interior. The jeweler glances at it, smiles, and continues working. Farther along the marketplace, music drifts through the air. A young woman sits beneath a canopy of azure silk. A harp rests in her lap. Her dress is aquamarine. Tiny sapphire beads decorate the sleeves. Blue zircon earrings catch the sunlight each time she moves. Her fingers move slowly across the strings. The notes seem to float through the marketplace. soft, cool, unhurried. Several bluebirds gather nearby, listening. Or perhaps they're simply enjoying the shade. At the edge of the square stands a harbor cafe. Small round tables spill onto the cobblestones. Blue umbrellas provide shade overhead. The chairs are painted French blue. The tabletops are tiled in Delft blue and white. A server carries a tray through the afternoon sunlight. Blueberry pastries, blackberry tarts, lavender cookies dusted with pale blue sugar. Crystal glasses sparkle on nearby tables. Some hold cool water, others contain blueberry lemonade. Tiny pieces of ice catch the sunlight and flash like diamonds. Someone laughs softly. A cup is gently set back upon its saucer. The afternoon seems perfectly content to continue just as it is. As the afternoon slowly drifts onward, the marketplace begins to glow. Not because the sun has changed, but because hundreds of blue surfaces are reflecting light at once. Gemstones, glass, silk, silver, polished stone. Everywhere you look, people are quietly caring for beautiful things. Then the music becomes softer. The laughter becomes more distant. Even the sparkle of the gemstones slowly disappears from view. The marketplace gradually fades behind you. Ahead, a narrow path follows the shoreline. The sea remains nearby, but the water here is different. Calmer, shallower, protected from the open ocean. A lagoon. The water glows with impossible shades of blue. Near the shore, it is clear enough to reveal every stone resting quietly below. Farther out, the blue gradually deepens beneath the afternoon sky. The surface is so clear that every stone beneath can be seen. Smooth white stones, silver gray stones, bleached white shells resting quietly among them. Soft blue fish drift through the shallows. Their scales catch the light whenever they turn. For a moment, they seem almost made of the water itself. They move together like ribbons of living color, turning all at once, changing direction as though guided by a shared dream. A wooden footbridge extends across part of the lagoon. The planks have weathered to a soft silver gray. Blue-green moss grows between the boards. As you cross the bridge, dragonflies drift above the water. Their wings shimmer softly. One pauses beside you, hovering effortlessly. For a moment, its wings leave behind a faint trail of blue light. Then the trail dissolves into the afternoon air. At the center of the lagoon sits a small island, no larger than a garden. A stone path leads to it. Blue lotus flowers bloom around the island's edge. Their colors deepen gently toward the center of each blossom. The flower floats motionless on the water. Perfect reflections beneath them. Flower above, flower below. Almost impossible to tell where one ends and the other begins. A pavilion rises from the center of the island. Its roof is tiled in shades of azure, cobalt, and weathered sapphire. Blue glass lanterns hang from the eaves, dozens of them. Some round, some tall and narrow, some shaped like teardrops. Though the sun remains above the horizon, several lanterns already glow. Soft blue light fills their glass interiors. Gentle, warm, welcoming. A low table waits beneath the pavilion. Crystal bowls hold blueberries and slices of dark blue plum. A pitcher of water rests nearby. The glass itself is aquamarine. Thin slices of lemon float inside, along with sprigs of mint. The breeze carries their scent across the island, as though someone has prepared a quiet welcome for anyone who happens to wander by. Beyond the pavilion, the lagoon becomes quieter still. The water darkens slightly, reflecting the deepening afternoon sky. Something moves beneath the surface. Not a fish. Not exactly. A ribbon of blue light glides through the water, then another, then several more. Transparent, luminous. Moving so effortlessly they seem less like creatures and more like pieces of light that have decided to swim. They drift silently beneath the surface, leaving trails of pale blue radiance behind them. The trails linger briefly, then fade. Perhaps they have always lived here. Perhaps the lagoon simply creates them from reflected sky. The afternoon continues to soften. The blues grow deeper. The shadows grow longer. The first hints of evening begin to gather. Far beyond the island, on a rocky point overlooking the sea, stands a lighthouse. Its white tower rises above the water. The roof is painted deep cobalt, almost indigo. The last rays of sunlight glint from the lantern room windows. The lighthouse stands quietly on the rocky point beyond the lagoon. It seems peaceful, patient. It has been keeping watch over the blue world for a very long time. The path leading toward it curves along the shoreline. On one side, the sea stretches out toward the horizon. On the other, the lagoon reflects the changing sky. Beyond the lighthouse, deeper blues wait. The afternoon quietly begins giving itself to evening. The air feels cooler. Not cold, just refreshed. The kind of air that arrives when a warm day begins, relaxing into night. Small waves roll against the rocks below. The sound is steady, gentle, reassuring. You follow the path towards the lighthouse. Wildflowers grow between the stones. Some still catch the last hints of sunlight. Others have already become part of the evening. A blue moth drifts past. Its wings are the color of tanzanite. For a moment, they catch the last sunlight. Then the moth disappears into the deepening evening. The lighthouse grows larger as you approach. Its white walls grow softly beneath the cobalt sky. The roof is deep blue, almost black from a distance. Yet when the light touches it, hints of blue emerge again. The windows shine with warm golden light. And at the very top, surrounded by glass, rests the great lantern. The door stands slightly open, as though visitors are expected. You step inside. The air smells faintly of polished wood, salt air, old books, and something else. A subtle scent of oil used to care for the great lantern above. A spiral staircase curves upward. The steps are worn smooth by countless journeys. Blue glass lanterns hang along the wall. Their light pools gently across the stairway. The climb feels unhurried, peaceful. Around and around the staircase winds. Occasionally, a small window appears. Through one, you glimpse the harbor. Through another, the lagoon. Through another, the open sea stretching endlessly toward the horizon. At the top of the stairs stands the keeper. Despite his silver hair, he appears ageless. His sweater is midnight blue. His eyes are kind. The sort of eyes that seem to notice everything without ever judging it. He stands beside the great lens. The glass is magnificent. Panels of crystal curve around one another in precise patterns. Every surface quietly gathers the fading light. The keeper gently polishes one section with a soft cloth. Not because it needs polishing, but because caring for beautiful things is part of his daily ritual. When he finishes, he steps back, apparently satisfied. The lens glows brighter. Outside the lantern room windows, the world spreads out beneath you. The village, the harbor, the marketplace, the lagoon, the island pavilion, all visible from this height, and all slowly changing as evening settles over them. Tiny points of blue light begin appearing throughout the village. Glass lanterns hanging outside cottages, beside doors, lining pathways. One by one they awaken. No two exactly alike, yet together they make the village shine. At the harbor, the fisherman is preparing to leave. His boat remains tied securely to the dock. He coils his rope carefully. The faded rope now touched by evening shadows. Then he pauses, looking out across the water one final time. Not because he is waiting for something, simply because the sea is beautiful. Eventually, he turns and begins the walk home. The cat wakes from its afternoon nap, stretching each leg with great seriousness. Its collar reflects the last sunlight. The tiny silver bell remains silent, as always. The cat surveys the harbor, apparently satisfied that everything is exactly as it should be. The sailmaker closes her workshop. The great blue sails hanging from the ceiling sway gently one final time as she shuts the windows, all settling into stillness. The harpist still sits beneath her azure canopy. The marketplace has grown quieter. Most merchants have begun closing their stalls, but she continues playing. Her final melodies drift through the evening air. Near the village wall, the girl gathers her treasures. One by one, she returns them to their wooden box, each one with quiet care. And finally, her favorites. The velvet pouch filled with glimmering worlds of blue. The first star appears. Tiny points of silver scattered across the heavens. One star, then another, then dozens more. The sea becomes a mirror. Stars above, stars below. The blue world has not ended. It is simply resting. The baker has closed his little shop. The lanterns continue glowing. The keeper tends his great light. The cat dreams through lifetimes and worlds. And somewhere beyond the horizon, deeper blues still wait. The richest blues, the dreamiest blues, the blues of velvet night. And as the lighthouse beam sweeps slowly across the sea once more, you find yourself drifting gently toward them. The lighthouse stands quietly behind you now. Its beam continues sweeping across the sea. Slowly, patiently, reliably. Each pass of the light grows softer as you continue onward. Soon, the lighthouse is only a distant glow on the horizon. Ahead, a new world unfolds. At first glance, it appears to be an ordinary path. Then the moonlight touches it, and you realize the stones beneath your feet are blue. Not painted blue, not colored by the sky, blue themselves. Some are the color of sapphire, others resemble polished lapis lazuli. Some shine with hints of cobalt, others hold deep indigo shadows within their surfaces. The road curves gently through the landscape. No sharp turns, no steep hills, only a gradual invitation to continue. The air is quiet. The sea remains nearby. You can still hear distant waves rolling against the shoreline. But the village now rests peacefully behind you. The marketplace, the harbor, the lanterns, all continue their quiet evening. From here, they are only memories carried by the wind. Moonlight gathers across the Sapphire Road. Each stone reflects it differently. Some glow with pale silver blue light. Others seem to drink the moonlight in and hold it quietly beneath their polished surfaces. As you walk, small crystals appear beside the path. At first, they seem like ordinary rocks. Then one catches the light. a flash of blue, then another, then another. Clusters of crystals rise from the ground in delicate formations, and in the distance, blue towers shimmer beneath the stars. Crystal rooftops reflect the moonlight. Glass domes glow softly against the night sky. A place of sapphire, lapis, tanzanite, aquamarine, moonstone, and countless shades yet to be discovered. The blue towers grow larger as you approach. Some towers are built from pale sapphire-colored stone. Others appear carved from blue marble, streaked with silver veins. Still others seem almost translucent, as their entire walls have been formed from crystal. The road widens. A silver pedestal calmly waits before you. It seems to be empty. Broad steps rise ahead. Each step is polished smooth. Each one reflects the stars overhead. You take another step and have the odd feeling that the staircase is resting upon the pedestal itself. At the top of the staircase stand enormous doors. The doors are crafted from dark wood. Silver inlays trace flowing patterns across their surface. Lapis flowers, sapphire leaves, moonstone vines. The doors open, not dramatically, not ceremonially, simply an invitation to continue. You step inside. The hall of blue treasures stretches far beyond what seems possible. The ceiling disappears into shadow high above. Crystal chandeliers hang from invisible supports. Each chandelier glows with hundreds of blue crystals, perhaps even thousands. The light they cast is cool and gentle, more moonlight than lantern light. Rows of columns extend into the distance. The columns are carved from pale blue marble. Silver threads shimmer through the stone. The hall is quiet, not silent. Quiet in the way libraries are quiet. Quiet in the way snowfall is quiet. Quiet in the way beautiful places often become when visitors slow down enough to notice them. Between the columns stand pedestals. Hundreds of them. Perhaps thousands. Each pedestal displays a different treasure. The first pedestal holds a sapphire sphere. It is perfectly polished. Tiny stars seem trapped within the stone. Nearby rests a carved lapis globe. Tiny flecks of gold drift beneath its surface like distant constellations. Across the aisle stands a collection of cobalt glass, vases, bowls, pitchers, delicate bottles. Farther along stands an entire gallery of porcelain. Blue and white patterns cover every surface. Swirling flowers, curving vines, clouds, birds, tiny villages, ocean waves. Each piece seems to remember the hands that painted it. Another display contains folded textiles, silks, velvets, satins, brocades. The fabrics still hold the gentle fold of those who once carried them. An enormous crystal vase on a pedestal contains gemstones, aquamarine crystals larger than your hand, clusters of blue topaz, polished tanzanite, blue diamonds. At the far end of the hall stands a row of sculptures, a sleeping fox carved from a cobalt stone, a heron sculpted from blue crystal, a sea turtle fashioned from polished lapis, a whale carved from a single piece of sapphire-colored marble. Nearby stands perhaps the most curious object in the hall, a simple glass bottle. No larger than a loaf of bread, until the moonlight touches it, then tiny stars appear inside, hundreds of them. You step closer, and closer still. The stars appear to get larger and brighter. You step back and they fade back into quiet waiting. The hall continues, gallery after gallery, treasure after treasure, pedestal after pedestal. Moonlight streams through immense crystal walls, and beyond those walls, shapes can be seen. Trees, flowers, fountains, gardens glowing beneath the stars. The treasures slowly give way to living beauty, and somewhere beyond the walls, blue blossoms sway in the moonlit air. The air feels different here, warmer, softer, filled with the scent of growing things. The stone floors gradually give way to glass pathways, clear beneath your feet, smooth and cool. The pathways wind gently through an immense crystal conservatory. Thousands of crystal panes from a vast dome. Moonlight filters through every surface. The first plants appear beside the path. Blue orchids, dozens of varieties, hundreds of blooms, and all pale powder blue. Others resemble an aquamarine silk. Some carry petals the color of blue topaz. Others deepen into rich sapphire. The pathway continues. The orchids slowly give way to lilies, moonstone lilies. Their petals glow faintly from within, not brightly, just enough to create a soft halo around each bloom. A pair of blue moths passes overhead. Their wings shimmer like polished gemstones. One flashes tanzanite, the other cobalt. The path continues deeper into the conservatory. Blue ferns unfurl beside the walkway. Their leaves are dusted with silver. Nearby rise towering crystal trees, thousands of crystal leaves hanging from every limb. Whenever the breeze moves through them, a gentle sound follows. Beneath one tree rests a circular bench. The gardener putters nearby. A blue denim apron has silver scissors hanging from a blue ribbon. A favorite pair of soft gloves peeks out from a pocket. The gardener works slowly, patiently, never rushing, paying full attention to each movement. No one plant is more special than another. All are tended with equal respect and care. Beyond the crystal trees stands a fountain, then another, and another, and more still. Each fountain sings its own quiet song. The path winds onward. Every turn reveals another surprise, another shade of blue, another living treasure. Beds of forget-me-nots stretch beneath crystal arches. Blue roses climb over silver trellises. Hydrangeas bloom in clouds of powder blue and periwinkle. Delphiniums rise like sapphire towers. Blue poppies sway gently beside moonstone pathways. The air carries their fragrance. Fresh, clean, softly floral. Ahead, a grove of crystal trees rises from a field of blue flowers. Thousands of them, perhaps tens of thousands. A living sea of blue. Above the field, luminous butterflies drift through the night air. Their wings catch the moonlight, then release it again. The midnight garden gradually fades behind you. The lantern fruits glow softly among the distant trees. The silver pedestal remains upon the hill. The tiny galaxy continues turning inside its glass sphere. Soon, those lights become difficult to see. The path slopes gently downward toward the sea. The air changes once again, cooler now, carrying the scent of salt again. Dunes appear as the moon rises and spills its silver light over them. Blue grasses sway in the cool evening breeze. Some blades appear pale cerulean. Others deepen into dusty cornflower blue. Moonstone-colored strands catch the starlight. Silver threads seem woven through sapphire silk. The narrow leaves whisper against one another, a soft rasping sound, ancient, patient, endless. Beyond the dunes, the shoreline appears, a long curve of moonlit sand. The beach stretches in both directions, farther than you can see. The sand itself seems touched by blue, silver blue, pearl blue, moonstone blue. Here and there, tiny grains flash aquamarine beneath the stars. Others glimmer with hints of pale cerulean. The entire shoreline appears dusted with crushed sapphires. A wave arrives, slides across the shore, then retreats. Another follows, then another. The rhythm never changes. The ocean breathes. In, out, in, out. The water itself contains countless shades of blue. Near shore, sea glass blue drifts through the shallows. Farther out, aquamarine gives way to sapphire. Beyond that, cobalt gathers beneath the moonlight. Still farther, Prussian blue settles across the deep water. And along the horizon, indigo merges into the night sky. Small shells tumble softly in the wash. Many of them glow faintly blue. Tiny clicks and taps drift across the beach as the waves pull them in and out. The sounds are delicate, easy to miss, yet once noticed, they seem to belong perfectly to the night. A ghost crab emerges from a small burrow. Moonlight reveals traces of blue topaz across its shell. Tiny cobalt highlights shimmer whenever it moves. For a moment, it resembles a living gemstone skittering across the sand. The crab pauses, considers something known only to crabs, then disappears once more into the darkness. Near the water's edge, a sea turtle slowly emerges from the ocean. Her shell glistens with beads of seawater. Deep sapphire patterns emerge beneath the moonlight. Cobalt markings trace delicate paths across wet surfaces. In places, the shell reflects indigo. In others, blue-black midnight tones. One flipper reaches forward, then the other. She moves patiently towards the dunes, leaving broad tracks behind her. The journey appears difficult, yet she never seems hurried. She has crossed this beach before, perhaps many times, perhaps for decades. The ocean continues its gentle breathing. Waves arrive, waves retreat. The tide slowly rises. Far offshore, something exhales. A silver plume rises above dark indigo water. Moonstone mist drifts briefly across a sapphire sea. Then another plume appears. A whale. The sound reaches shore several moments later. Soft, deep, peaceful. The whale sleeps beneath the dark Prussian blue swells. The sea grows still. Above the beach, a pair of night birds glide through the darkness. Their feathers flash tanzanite when they catch the moonlight. Then they vanish into the night. The shoreline continues. The dunes continue. The sea continues. Everything seems content to simply exist. Far out upon the water, a small fishing boat rocks gently upon the swells. A lantern glows near the stern. Its glass has been tinted aquamarine. The light spills across the waves in soft turquoise ribbons. Every passing swell carries fragments of blue light into the darkness. A rope slides over wood. A crab pot disappears beneath the surface. The fishermen work quietly. No voices carry across the water, only the occasional creak of the boat and the sound of the waves against the hull. The sea has taught them there is no need to hurry. A breeze moves through a stand of palms growing near the shore. Their fronds rustle overhead. One coconut loosens from its stem. It tumbles downward, brushing through layers of blue-green fronds. The leaves sway gently in its wake. The coconut strikes the sand with a muffled thump, then rolls a short distance before coming to rest. The beach returns to stillness. The waves continue their endless rhythm. The turtle continues her patient journey towards the dunes. The fishing boat drifts gently upon the swells. Everything seems perfectly content exactly as it is. Above, the stars appear brighter than before. Thousands of tiny lights reflected across the ocean, each wave carrying fragments of moonlight towards the shore. The deeper water now appears darker, indigo, Oxford blue, midnight sapphire. The horizon nearly disappears, sea and sky becoming one. And then, far beyond the fishing boat, far beyond the whales, far beyond the visible horizon, a shape rises slowly from the ocean. Not suddenly, not dramatically, gracefully. A broad sapphire-colored wing catches the moonlight. The underside flashes tanzanite. Moonstone blue gathers along its edges. Beneath the creature, the sea reflects ribbons of cobalt and indigo. For a moment, ocean and sky appeared painted from the same palette. The creature circles once, silent, ancient, beautiful. Perhaps a giant manta ray, perhaps something else entirely. The creature turns northward, following a path only it understands. And somehow, without effort, without question, you find yourself following. The shoreline slowly begins to drift away behind you. The palms become smaller. The dunes fade into silver mist. The lantern of the fishing boat becomes a tiny aquamarine star floating upon the sea. Soon it disappears too. Only the ocean remains. The creature glides effortlessly ahead. Moonlight shines across its sapphire wings. Below, the water changes. The ocean grows quieter, broader, older. A distant whale song rises from the depths. Long, low, mysterious. The sound drifts upward through the dark water, then fades once more into silence. Far below the surface, faint blue lights appear, tiny points of bioluminescent. They glow like drifting stars beneath the sea. Schools of fish pass through them, leaving trails of sapphire light behind. The creature continues northward. Hours seem to pass, or perhaps only moments. Time moves differently above the midnight ocean. Ahead, pale shapes begin to emerge from the darkness. At first, they resemble clouds resting upon the horizon, yet they do not move. Moonlight touches their surfaces. Blue-white reflections appear. Ice blue, glacier blue, crystal blue, ancient blue. The first iceberg rises from the sea, tall, silent, luminous beneath the stars. Another appears beyond it, then another. The ocean has carried you to the edge of a different blue world, a colder blue, a quieter blue. a blue shaped by ice and moonlight. The creature glides onward between towering icebergs. Moonlight shines across frozen walls of glacier blue. Some sections glow pale cerulean, others deepen into crystal blue. Still others shimmer with hints of frozen aquamarine. The sea below reflects both ice and sky. For a moment, it becomes impossible to tell where one ends and the other begins. Curtains of pale aurora drift overhead. Soft ribbons of blue-green light move slowly across the stars. The colors ripple, fade, ripple again. The creature continues onward. It glides across the dark water. The ocean here is calmer, older. The waves move more slowly among the ice. Occasionally, a small piece of glacier breaks free. A gentle crack echoes through the night. The fragment slips into the sea. A ring of ripples spread outward. Then the water becomes still once more. Ahead rises an arch of frozen sapphire. The ice curves gracefully above the water. Moonlight shines through it. The entire structure glows from within, as though a piece of blue crystal has been carved by time itself. Beyond the arch, an ice cave opens along the shoreline. Its entrance glimmers with shades of frost blue and moonstone blue. The sapphire-winged creature circles once, then disappears into the darkness. The cave seems welcoming, quiet, ancient. A place where blue has been gathering for a very long time. The entrance opens into a vast chamber of ice. Crystal blue walls rise toward a ceiling hidden in darkness. Thousands of frozen icicles hang overhead. Some are pale ice blue. Others resemble long spears of sapphire glass. Tiny droplets occasionally fall from their tips. Each drop lands with a delicate sound, like a single note played upon a distant bell. The air feels cool and particularly still. Moonlight filters through the ice above. The entire cave glows softly. The light seems alive, drifting through layers of glacier blue, frost blue, polar blue, moonstone blue. Deep within the cave, a frozen waterfall hangs suspended in time. Its crystal surface appears motionless, yet tiny rivers of pale blue light seem to move within it, as though memories of flowing water remain trapped inside the ice. Nearby, a narrow stream continues its journey beneath the frozen wall. The water moves slowly, quietly. A ribbon of liquid sapphire winding through crystal stone. The stream disappears beneath an archway. You follow. The tunnel beyond twists gently through the glacier. Blue crystals emerge from the walls, some no larger than a fingernail, others as large as lanterns. Their surfaces catch the moonlight, scattering fragments of cerulean and aquamarine throughout the tunnel. The deeper you travel, the quieter everything becomes. Even the sound of your footsteps seems absorbed by the ice. Far away, something cracks. A long, low sound. The voice of the glacier settling into itself. Ancient, patient, unhurried. The tunnel widens once more. Ahead lies a frozen lagoon. The surface is perfectly smooth, like polished blue glass. Aurora lights drift across it, creating ribbons of cobalt and turquoise that slide silently over the ice. At the edge of the lagoon, several seals sleep upon a shelf of snow. Their bodies rise and fall gently with each breath. One shifts slightly, then settles again, perfectly content beneath the aurora. Nearby, the owl is perched upon a blue-white boulder. Its feathers glow softly beneath the moonlight. Hints of pale cerulean shimmer along the edges of its wings. The owl blinks once, twice, watching, witnessing, then blinks once more and quietly looks away. It has seen all it needs to see. Beyond the lagoon, another opening leads back toward the sea. Dark water moves between towering walls of ice. A soft mist drifts across the surface. Then a narrow spiral horn appears. A narwhal. The animal rises quietly from the water. Moonlight glimmers across its silver blue skin. For a few moments, it remains perfectly still, then slips beneath the surface once more, leaving only a widening circle upon the water. The sea beyond the glacier remains alive. Whales beneath the ice, far below, hidden from view. Occasionally their songs rise through the water, long, low, gentle. The notes drift through the cavern, blending with the different sounds of crackling ice and moving water. The glacier itself seems to listen. Farther along the shore, an Arctic fox crosses a field of snow. Its coat appears almost white, yet traces of pale blue shimmer wherever the moonlight touches its fur. The fox pauses, looks toward the horizon, then continues on its way. Its footprints form a winding path across the snow. Soon, even those tracks disappear, as though they had never been there at all. The aurora brightens overhead. New colors emerge. Frozen turquoise, winter sapphire. The ice reflects them all, transforming the landscape into a kingdom of light. And then deep within a narrow side cavern, a small blue lantern appears. Its glow is steady, gentle, warm against the surrounding ice. No footprints lead toward it. No footprints lead away. The lantern simply rests upon a pedestal, glowing quietly, as it always has, as it always will. No one seems to tend to it. No one seems to visit. Yet the lantern never fades. Its pale sapphire light reflects across the frozen walls, creating tiny rivers of blue that travel through the ice. You watch it for a few moments, then continue onward. The lantern remains behind, its mystery untouched, its purpose unknown. The glacier stretches onward beneath the stars. The aurora drifts slowly overhead. Somewhere in the unseen depths, the whales continue their ancient song. Beyond the glacier, the land opens to a vast plain of snow and ice. The frozen landscape stretches farther than you can see. Moonlight spills across the surface. Aurora light drifts overhead. Blue upon blue. Light upon light. Sky reflected in snow. Snow reflected in sky, until the two become almost impossible to separate. Tiny crystals scattered across the snow catch the aurora. Each one flashes briefly, like a star. Then another flashes nearby, and another. Soon the entire plain seems filled with silent constellations. A gentle breeze moves across the open landscape. Snow crystals drift through the air, not falling, not floating, turning slowly in the aurora light. Each crystal reflects shades of blue. Far ahead, a narrow stream winds through the snowfield. The water remains frozen. A ribbon of liquid cobalt crossing the pale landscape. Aurora light dances across its surface. The stream seems to carry pieces of the sky along with it. Nearby, a cluster of ice crystals rises from the snow. Some are no taller than your hand. Others reach several feet into the air. Their surfaces glow softly. The breeze passes through them. A faint sound follows, a delicate ringing, as though tiny wind chimes have been hiding among the crystals. The notes drift across the snow, then fade into the distance. Far above, the aurora brightens. Long ribbons of light stretch from horizon to horizon. Some grow pale blue-green. Others shimmer with deep sapphire tones. The colors move slowly, patiently, as though the sky itself is breathing. The snowfield continues. The crystal stream continues. The aurora continues. Everything seems perfectly content to exist exactly as it is. In the distance, a small blue light appears. At first, it resembles a star resting upon the snow. Yet as you draw nearer, its shape becomes familiar. The lantern. Its sapphire glow reflects across the ice. No footprints surround it. No path leads toward it. No path leads away. The lantern reminds you of another, the one resting quietly within the glacier. Equally patient, equally mysterious. You continue onward. Soon, the lantern fades behind you. Yet another appears farther ahead, then another, and another. Some rest beside frozen streams. Some stand atop ridges of snow. Others seem to emerge directly from fields of crystal. Each glows with the same soft sapphire light. Each remains entirely alone. No explanation presents itself. None seems necessary. The lanterns simply belong here, as natural as the aurora, as natural as the snow. Farther across the plain, a group of Arctic hares rests among a cluster of ice formations. Their coats appear almost white, yet pale shades of moonstone blue shimmer along their fur whenever the aurora brightens overhead. One lifts its head, listens for a moment, then settles once more into the snow. Beyond them rises a frozen ridge. The surface sparkles with countless crystals. The climb is gentle, the snow untouched, the air perfectly still. At the top of the ridge, the entire aurora fields stretch before you. Rivers of light flow across the sky. The snow reflects every color. The lanterns glow in the distance. Tiny sapphire stars scattered across the plain. The crystal stream winds through the landscape, vanishing and reappearing beneath snow-covered arches. Far away, something moves through the aurora. It glides silently above the fields, its wings reflecting the colors of the sky. For a few moments it circles overhead, then continues toward the northern horizon. The creature appears smaller now, more distant, almost part of the aurora itself. The sky grows deeper, the blues grow softer, the world grows quieter. A single snow crystal drifts slowly past, then another. The lights of the lanterns shimmer gently. The aurora continues its endless dance, and the blue world seems suspended between earth and sky, between dreaming and waking, between stars and snow, waiting quietly beneath the northern lights. The aurora fields gradually begin to fade behind you. The lanterns still glow across the snow. The tiny sapphire lights scattered beneath the northern sky. The crystal stream still winds through the frozen plain. The aurora still dances overhead, yet everything feels more distant now. Softer, lighter. The snowfields stretch farther apart. The horizon becomes less distinct. The world seems to loosen its hold. A gentle breeze drifts across the open landscape. Snow crystals rise into the air, not falling, not floating, simply drifting. The crystals catch the aurora. Each one flashes briefly, then disappears into the night. The sky appears deeper now, broader, almost limitless. A distant shape glides high overhead, much higher than before. Its wings catch the starlight, reflecting shades of cobalt and silver. For a moment, it circles above the frozen plain, then continues upward toward the deepest part of the sky. You watch until it becomes little more than a glimmer, then nothing at all. Far away, one lantern stands alone atop a ridge of ice. Its glow stretches toward the horizon, like a pathway made of sapphire stars, or perhaps stars made of sapphire lanterns. The distinction becomes difficult to make. Above, the stars seems brighter now. Below, the lanterns glow more softly. Soon it becomes difficult to tell which belong to the sky and which belong to the earth. A single star shines above the lantern. Both glow with the same pale blue light. Both remain perfectly still. For a moment, they appear identical. Twin lights resting in different worlds, or perhaps the same world. The sky continues deepening. Moonstone blue becomes sapphire. Sapphire becomes cobalt. Cobalt becomes indigo. The colors shift so gradually that changes are almost impossible to notice. The blue world seems to drift around you. Far below, glimpses of familiar places occasionally appear. A distant lighthouse shining beside a dark sea. A crystal conservatory glowing softly beneath the stars. The outline of a ballroom. A silver archway. A moonlit garden. A frozen lagoon. The lantern within the glacier. Pieces of the blue world, scattered like memories. Beautiful, gentle, unhurried. None asked to be remembered. None asked to be understood. They simply exist, exactly as they always have, exactly as they always will. Far ahead, something gleams among the clouds. A silver pedestal. Simple, elegant, resting upon a bank of pale blue mist. Nothing stands upon it. No crystal, no lantern, no treasure, only the pedestal itself, waiting quietly as though something once rested there, or perhaps something someday will. The pedestal offers no answers. It seems perfectly content to remain a mystery. The clouds drift slowly onward. The pedestal disappears behind them. The sky grows deeper still. Velvet indigo, midnight sapphire. The stars become softer, their light less distinct. The lantern begins to fade into the distance, its sapphire glow growing fainter. The aurora continues overhead, yet even its colors seem gentler now. The ribbons of light grow thinner, softer, more delicate. The blue world continues to drift quietly beneath the stars. The frozen fields, the lanterns, the glaciers, the shoreline, the harbor, the gardens, the lighthouse, all resting peacefully below, gradually becoming more distant, gradually becoming quieter. The sky deepens beyond sapphire, beyond cobalt, beyond indigo, into shades with no names. The last traces of blue remain for a while, soft, faint, almost forgotten. Then those too begin to fade. The stars drift farther apart. The aurora becomes a whisper of light, then less than a whisper. The blue world grows very quiet, very still. There is nothing left to follow, nothing left to discover, nothing left to remember. Only quiet, only stillness. The final traces of blue linger for a moment, then gently dissolve into the darkness. And then only darkness remains.